This is our look at the 3 Chinese philosophies. So to start with, we have Confucianism. It was started by the man named Confucius. The main idea of Confucianism is that people should have proper relationships with their family and community. And if there's proper relationships and you have a good leader, then you're going to have a good society. So part of that is fathers should be good examples in the family. Sons then need to respect their father. And so the oldest male in the family, the grandfather or the father, was the one who tended to make the decisions, and his word was the final word. Below him was the father. Below the father was the oldest brother, and then the next oldest, and so on. But notice I've only said men. Doesn't matter if grandma or mom was around, the oldest son was higher. Now, when he was 2, probably he was still considered lower. But at a certain point, the oldest son became more respected and had a higher status in the family than the mother. And the daughters were always beneath the mother, once again in order of rank. So if you were the youngest daughter, you were you were the person who had to do what everyone else in the family said. Confucius and I disagree on that one, but that was his idea of how you had a good example. You always knew who to go to for advice and who you should look up to as your example. Confucius believed that people are naturally good, and if they had a good example, they would do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Confucius would like that way we end our announcements. People can learn the proper way to act from good leaders. This is a key point for your assessment, that people can learn the right way to act. Good leaders and an education. There's one dynasty that you're going to have to identify and connect it with Confucianism. And what they do is they educate the people to become good leaders. And so if you see one that is putting out schools and testing to see who is the best at understanding the way things should work, that person should be in the bureaucracy. That's the dynasty that's using Confucianism. So take a little bit of time to look over these quotes. Choose one and write it in your notes where it says quote under Confucianism. We'll have other quotes for the other philosophies. So the man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. We have the golden rule, kind of said backwards. Don't do to others what you don't want done to you. If you don't want them to do it to you, don't do it to them. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. You're a coward if you don't do the right thing. It's easy to hate and is difficult to love. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Consideration or thinking of others, so consideration for others, is the basis of a good life and a good society. When you see a good person, think of becoming like her or him. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. Ask yourself constantly, what is the right thing to do? Not what do you want to do, but what's the right thing? Confucius was big on the right thing. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Here's one that's very popular with students in middle school. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. So it starts with that leader and being a good person who you feel is worthy of respect. And this one I have a poster of. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising, getting up again every time we fall. People fall a lot in life. Not just physically, but, we fail a lot at what we want to do. And so then we keep on getting up and trying again. Another one, when you see a good person, think of becoming... Oh, wait, we already had that one. Didn't even realize I had that one here twice. Oh, I guess I'll take it out, so next time I print it, I don't have the double. All right, so hopefully you have taken time to write down one of those quotes. And now it's time to write a hashtag. Okay, so hashtags, you may have seen them on different social media. I've seen them a little bit on YouTube, but I think on some of the other social media where you send messages, you might have hashtags more often. I know Twitter uses hashtags a lot. So For a hashtag, you need to have the keywords. It should be the main idea. So hashtag important. Your examples. I'm not sure why I said current examples down there. Oh, examples of hashtags. That's what it is. Okay, sorry. So as I am recording this, it's hashtag Friday the 13th because I'm recording this on Friday the 13th. I don't know what the massage thing is. That makes me wonder. But, all right, so hashtag is a keyword, a phrase. You'll notice that it is not a complete sentence usually. It is a complete idea though. Okay, so hashtag this is too many words. Don't do that. It's too hard to read that one. Hashtag important, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, those are all good. You get more than that, make sure you look at it and see if you can read it or not. So take a moment to pause the video, write a hashtag, maybe talk to a neighbor if you don't have an idea, or ask your teacher if you need some help. Daoism is the second philosophy that we'll talk about. So the person that is associated with Daoism is Lao Tzu. The most important idea is living in harmony with nature. That's how you have a good life, according to Taoists. Now, they don't think in terms of right and wrong. Right and wrong both exist in the world, and it's a balance between them that creates a society we want to live in. Opposites fit together to create harmony. And so if you've seen the yin-yang symbol, black and white with a dot of the opposite color, that is the symbol that says opposites fit together and create harmony. Taoists believe people should live calmly and peacefully, let things take their natural course, and do not interfere to change what's happening. So a person who rules with Taoism basically doesn't do anything, or does very little. So let's take a look at quotes about Taoism. They'd be up here. So when you are content to simply be yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. So there you have a balance between beginning and ending. Knowing yourself is a big thing in Taoism. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step, a very famous Taoist quote. So you should be finishing up Taoism by writing a hashtag. Remember, find a key idea, 1, 2, or 3 words usually, and write that as a hashtag, what's most important about Taoism. Next, we have legalism. Whoops, sorry. My computer's being a little laggy here. Looks like my video is frozen too. All right. Anyway, so legalism, we have the idea that peace comes from a strong government. This is a very different philosophy. So we have strong government is what is needed to have a good life. If it's a strong government, they need strict laws. And the reason they think strong government and strict laws is because they believe people are naturally bad. That people will make bad decisions that hurt each other if there is not a law against it and strict, harsh punishments to make them follow those laws. So this is the philosophy where like the death penalty is the best way to keep someone from murdering another person, is because of this harsh punishment, that people are going to murder each other without that. That's the idea of legalism. So go ahead and take a look at these quotes. All right, from Han Fei and Shang Yang, there's 2 philosophers. There's actually 3 main philosophers, but these are 2 of them that had some good quotes. So it is dangerous for a ruler to trust others. He who trusts others can be manipulated by others. So if you trust someone, if a leader trusts someone, then they can be making poor choices because of what the other person says. Or he who claims to be sure of something for which there is no evidence is a fool, and he who acts on the basis of what cannot be proved is an imposter, somebody who's pretending. Ooh, you have to have evidence, otherwise you could be pretending to be a good leader. All right. This one is one of my favorites. We'll come back to that in a minute. Here's one that a lot of students like. When people are stupid, they are easy to govern. So, because they want to have a strong government with people who follow the laws without thinking, legalists didn't want to educate people. They wanted people to stay stupid. All right. So, this is the other quote right here. You should not forget about the law even for one moment. You should weaken the adherents and conquer the public speakers. So anybody who has an opinion or who thinks that they adhere to like Confucianism or something else that's not the emperor's philosophy, they should weaken or conquer those people. You, this is the king, the emperor, should stop all discussions and arguments and govern only according to the law. So this one is saying you should not allow freedom of speech. That's a bad thing. Only law and punishment. That's all that's important. All right. So finish up with a hashtag, and then you are done with these three philosophies for their notes. Now, then it's just time to figure out which one belongs with which dynasty.